Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
This is AJ Steward, and what's on my heart today is the full circle of spiritual development cycle. What I mean by that is, when you're growing in your life, with God, you want to, when you start, there's some things that you have to prune, and there's things that you're going to have to distance yourself from, things in your life that were distancing yourself in general and from God in the first place. And that can be a tough process. It is a tough process. Speaking from my own testimony, there were certain people, there are certain things that I was accustomed to that I had to distance myself from, in order to be able to just truly hear, what God was trying to tell me in life. And like I alluded to, it's very hard, because, some of your friends that, you've grown fond of, and, just some of the activities that you do in life, that you have to, kind of remove yourself from, that can create a lot of loneliness, when you do those things. But I think they're very necessary, for growth. So, when kind of in my testimony, I had to do some of those things, in college. And there were a lot of times where in my heart, I knew it was right, but it was just not easy and not popular. A bunch of people questioned why I did it, and kind of caused a rift in some different relationships I had in life. But just moving forward to now and being able to see what God has done from those sacrifices that were made, and me truly being able to devote myself to Him and be able to distance myself in order to hear what He was trying to tell me during that time. I've seen the fruits of it, later down the line in my walk with Christ. So I'm excited about that, and I'm grateful, for the strength to be able to do that during that time. When we talk about the full circle, of spiritual development, one thing that I had to grow from is, some of those things and some of those people that, I had to show discipline and distancing myself from, during that season of my life. That wasn't anything personal towards those people. That's just what, decision I needed to make for the betterment of my relationship with God. So once I grew a strength in those different avenues by, distancing myself for a long period of time, then really, kind of through some conversations with my wife and also some convictions that God put on my heart, He really showed me and really reading in Paul's letters that it's then once we have grown in our relationship with God to go back, and that's when the full circle comes in, to go back and reaching, out to people in those arenas that we distance ourselves from in the first place. And really in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, 16 through 23 is when Paul talks about, meeting people where they are. He would eat things that weren't customary for Jews to eat during that time, just so that he can reach the Gentiles and, do different practices in life that he wouldn't have done early in his walk with Christ because he didn't have the strength to do those things. But he really felt God tugging on him, to reach that avenue and that specific group of people. And he kind of found his niche in that. And that's what I mean by the full circle, is that once you've developed that relationship with God, then he'll put you right back in that, around those same people, and he wants you to minister to them. And the reason why he does that is because they've seen your growth, from the time when before you made that relationship started that relationship with him and you made those sacrifices way back when, to see that not only have the growth that you have, but that you still that you have love in your heart for them enough to be able to try to be a light, you know, in those dark places. And I think that's important for us, you know, as Christians to understand that, you know, once we've, you know, we do have to make sacrifices and distance ourselves so that we can be strong in certain, you know, arenas that that we weren't before we gave our lives to Christ. But once we do, then it's our job to go be a light in those dark places. And I think that's just something that God's really put on my heart, and something that I have seen God be able to use my testimony in order to impact a certain type of people, a certain, you know, arena that I wouldn't have been able to do if I didn't have that testimony in the first place. So once again, this is AJ Steward, and that's what's on my heart.
Go get it.